Hello, welcome to Community Corner. My name is DeWitt Taylor. I'm your host.
Welcome to Community, everyone. I'm Mr. Ryan Nicholas Gray. I'm with my other delightful friend here.
Hello, my name is Aaron County Castle.
We're happy to welcome today to our show two delightful ladies who love to cook and share their skills with others. They have their own video names. These are two sisters and a Whisk. Welcome them to. Thanks for coming. We got our guests today. Would you please introduce yourselves to our audience?
I'm Mary Ellen Mitchell, and I'm half of the two sisters in a Whisk.
And I'm Cyndi Whitfield, better known as Sidekick Cyndi.
Yeah.
Ladies, thanks for coming down. Thanks for coming, ladies.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ladies, would you each please tell us something about your family when you were growing up?
Well, we're sisters, you know.
True.
Having the same parents, we got a million stories. But I guess the biggest thing is that we had a lot of humor in our house, which has really benefited us through our lives, really.
Our mom and dad both have a great sense of humor, and we laughed a lot as a family. And so we just took it a step further and brought it to public access television.
Okay, it's good.
Aaron, have a question?
The first thing I want to say is that it's good to laugh.
It is. It's
Sure
healthy.
is. That's right.
Yeah, like it's too short.
It cuts down. It cuts down on the anger that that most people have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And it lowers your blood pressure too.
Exactly.
That's always a good thing.
Exactly, and what I always say is anger is like poison to the brain. It stops you from thinking straight.
Yeah.
And that's what unfortunately happens to me a lot.
So watch Two Sisters and a Whisk every day for a half hour, and you'll be fine.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay, that sounds good.
That's better than taking 2 aspirin and calling the doctor in the morning.
I think one of the things that we learn from our parents
get
is
to
it's
that.
very, very important to learn to be able to laugh at yourself. Because if you can laugh at yourself, then everybody else will laugh with you. It's no fun being laughed at, although I laugh at her a lot. But it really starts within you to be able to laugh and take a situation that would maybe be stressful or scary and turn it into something that you can laugh about and roll with and move on.
Okay.
Another question?
Sure.
Go slow.
Okay, would you tell us what you studied in school?
Not math.
Not cooking.
I got a D- in home economics.
Oh, bleh.
Yeah.
That's terrible. How did you get D-minus?
The only thing I got was in history and English that I cheated.
You did that good to do.
Seriously, James Phillip gave me a D in history.
I knew it. I knew it was coming.
I hate that ding dong.
You know
know.
what, David? I probably should have cheated. I would have been better off.
Let's focus on the task at hand, gentlemen, shall we?
Wait,
Okay, is there anything that you did study though?
You know what? I was in band. I studied music, and that was the thing that I enjoyed from 5th grade all the way to my senior year, and I wish I followed that further into college, but I didn't.
Okay.
My clarinet is very dusty and rusty.
Okay, studying music's cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a highlight.
And I always enjoyed creative writing. I still would like to write a book someday, and so that's something I was always interested in.
Maybe we can get her to write a cookbook.
maybe it's all for me.
An idea's born.
There you go.
That'd be cool.
There was something, a question to ask to
David?
Yes, you do.
There you go.
When you were in college, please tell us about how you came to love cooking.
How we came to love cooking.
Yeah.
We like to eat.
How much?
Gotta cook to eat, right?
That's right.
Well, I like to experiment a little. Sometimes I find it boring to follow an exact recipe. And so I'll get a recipe and I'll think, well, it has green pepper. I don't really care for green pepper, so I'll throw this in instead. And I kind of experiment with it. And then my family gets to be the guinea pigs.
Yeah. A lot of people say, oh, do you write your own recipes? No, we tweak everyone else's.
That's cool.
Ryan?
Thank you, David. Ladies, did you either of you attend a cooking school?
No.
No.
You didn't even a cooking school?
No. I told you I got a D- in
What?
all back.
I can't believe this, ladies and gentlemen. These two ladies, you knew the cooking school?
You know what? Our cooking skills are just from taste buds.
Taste buds.
Unfortunately, we've got really great
I'm a
taste
You didn't go to the
Cool.
cooking school at all?
And you know, I think that anybody that is interested in cooking, or you know, or you like to eat, you like the taste of it, because there's some people that they don't like to eat. They just eat enough to
can't
live,
even
and
imagine,
I
yeah.
live to eat. So I think anybody that takes an interest, you can learn cooking, read a little bit in books and stuff. I mean, I'm not knocking cooking schools by any means. That's great if you go, and I think it would be a lot of fun to do that. But this is something that anybody can learn to do over time if you have an interest. So.
What cookbooks do you like to use?
Well, you know, I do Pampered Chef cooking shows, and so I sell Pampered Chef products. So I'm really used to all of their cookbooks. And the coolest thing is you don't have to spend a lot for a cookbook because they have this one. It's a paperback book. It's black and white, so you don't get the color. But it's only $1, and I sell 1 million of these. If I sold 1 million, I'd be a millionaire.
She sells 100 of them every year.
Ain't your heart out, Donald Trump?
You know, sometimes in the cheapest little cookbooks, you can find the best recipes, and so those are my favorite, and I use those when I cook for people at shows.
And my favorites are the ones you find that were made in churches, because churches have potlucks, and everyone brings their favorite, their best dish, and then you get cookbooks full of all these great recipes. And so those I think are the best ones because they're tried and true recipes.
Yeah, everybody's got a favorite recipe.
Of course they do.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yep.
Where do you shop for regular and special cooking utensils?
Pampered Chef.
Same here. Because I know someone who can get them for me.
How about Lynn Adams, my mom's friend? You know Lynn Adams?
Lorraine Adams?
Lynn Adams.
No.
She's also a pampered chef.
Is she?
Oh.
Yeah, they're not joking. She's my mom's friend.
Oh, okay. Does she live here in the area?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They've got a lot of really neat things. We just made, for Easter, my mom and sister and I got together and made homemade pierogi for
Oh,
our Easter
many.
dinner.
Pierogies.
Pierogies.
I love pierogies.
200 pierogies. When she left, her hands were bruised.
Literally,
scratched.
literally, I had blisters.
Are you kidding
We
me?
started at 10 o'clock in the morning, and
Is
we
there
finished about 7.
200 pierogies? Yikes!
And there is the neatest, now what is that called?
The
Where-
cut and seal.
The cut and seal, it's called. And you just push it down, you seal the pierogi together, and then it just tears it apart. So you can pull that one out of the dough. And it was, I don't know what we would have done
I don't
without
know
it.
what we would have done. So that's why it's very
Things
important
like
to
that.
have the right tool wherever you buy it. Make sure you have the right tool for the job because it makes your life so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes the food look nicer, too.
Of course.
Orion,
Thank you,
question.
David? Yes.
Look at that, man.
Please tell us about such cooking terms as broiling, because sometimes when you hear the word broiling, every time I hear that word broiling, it kind of confuses me. Can you explain to me, what does the word broiling mean? That word broil.
Well, when you broil, you're going to want to put whatever. I do hamburgers.
Okay.
I always broil my hamburgers
Okay.
because rather than them frying in a pan and getting
In their
in their
grease. and all that
grease, it's
grease.
very greasy. Although that tastes good, but it's a little healthier, I guess, if you broil them and you put them on a special broil pan, and it has, you know, all the slots in it, so your grease goes down into the second pan. You put it on the top rack in your oven, and you leave your oven door open just a little bit, so that the hot heat, that made sense. We're gonna edit that, right?
Folks, please edit the part out. There you go.
The heat is right there on top, not very far from it, and it is going to really cook it up nice. But you got to pay attention. You can't walk away like you can throw something in the oven baking and check it 20 minutes later. You need to keep an eye on it, and you need to flip it, or it's going to get charred on top, and you don't want that.
And I like to broil pork chops.
Pork
They're
chops.
very
I like
good
pork
broiled.
chops.
I love pork chops. Yeah,
Sometimes when I'm something at
Both
home,
sides are cool.
like when my dad cooks sometimes, when you make something for dinner, like when you make like a turkey or something, sometimes,
beef and mac.
sometimes the turkey comes out a little too dry. Is there
Oh,
some way you could make the turkey not so
boiled.
dry?
It might have
need
been
oil.
overcooked a little. Maybe overcooked.
Yeah, sometimes overcooked sometimes. The
And
turkey
you got to baste.
base, that's the key
Suck
word.
up them juices and give it a bath.
I know.
Bear. An oil bear.
And then
Oil bath.
There you go.
I've been doing it since I can.
Sounds like a spa. I'm going for an oil bath.
Like this, oil bath. Get it? Oil bath. That's funny, isn't it? Ladies are funny, aren't they?
I said that, not them.
Oh, you're crazy.
Give him credit.
That's right. We were laughing at his joke.
Yes?
Play jokes.
Am I old enough to say it?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. Please tell us about flying foods.
It's fattening. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's fattening?
You know what? I am not a big one to fry a lot of foods,
Not
but
why?
just I guess because I try to broil or I bake or barbecue when the weather's. You should barbecue all year round, but we only pull it out when the weather's nice.
It's no fun standing in front of the
know.
grill like that.
I got one of those. What's it called? A Big Daddy fryer.
Okay.
Is that what that? Yeah. Now, if you go and you get like jalapeno poppers frozen, go get frozen appetizers.
Jalapenos?
Yeah.
Are you joking me?
Jalapeno poppers. Throw them in there. I'm telling you, they come out of there. They're really good. You know what? Another thing is, go get sweet potatoes. Slice them up real thin and throw them in the oil, and you got sweet potato chips that are homemade. They're just just put some salt on there. I'm telling you what, you'll never stop eating.
Oh, Dad,
do
we're making those
TGI
stuff for dinner. I
Fridays.
mean it.
I'm starting to drool down the front of myself.
I can see that.
Have you been to TGI Fridays?
Yeah.
They make the best sweet potato fries.
They do. They do. Yeah.
I love potatoes, all mashed, baked, anyway, again, they are delicious.
Okay.
Imagine, Arian?
Okay, I like the sound of sweet potato. I like the sound of sweet potato chips.
Yeah.
And we gotta try that someday.
Yeah.
They're a little
Very
bit
good.
different. Yeah, they're a little bit different
Yeah.
than regular potato
David?
chips.
Since we're talking cooking, explain details about roasting.
You're roasting, you roast something like that.
I like roast beef.
Roast beef?
Roast beast.
Sounds
You
like
know,
a
like
great-
If you like the Grinch, roast beef.
I'm the Grinch.
Yeah, the Grinch is still Christmas.
The Grinch who's the Christmas.
Yeah, he.
I think. Are you done talking about the
Yeah,
Grinch?
I'm done
Okay.
talking about the Grinch. Yeah.
As far as roasting, what we were talking about earlier with the turkey, I always roast a turkey or chicken, Cornish hens. I like to roast those. But basting is really the key thing to do there when you're
Why
roasting.
basting?
Because it keeps the juices in, keeps it moist, so you don't have anything dried out or dry and overcooked at the top and not maybe cooked
You
enough.
know,
at the
this
bottom.
idea for me as my mother, well, this is Thanksgiving.
What about basting?
Yeah, baste my turkey this time.
Oh,
There you go.
good idea.
Yep.
David?
Oh, Ryan!
Thank you, David. Would you please talk about some baked foods?
Baked foods.
Baked
You
means
talking
fried.
like desserts,
That's
cake,
right.
brownies.
Brownies? Ooh, I want
I'm
one.
going to tell you a handy little tip. Not that this is so much baking, but when you bake a brownie,
Okay, I'm
and
listening.
you pull it out of the oven, get the cheapest plastic knife you can find.
Cheapest?
Yeah, White Castles. They got really flimsy knives.
Flimsy
They're the
knives?
best.
Ugh.
Flimsy, why are you flimsy?
Cut
Why?
your brownies when you're cutting them in squares. Use a cheap plastic flimsy
Okay.
knife and none of the crumbs. You don't leave a crumb trail. It makes them neat squares so that you can take a spatula, get them out of there, and you can put them on a platter. They look a lot nicer than when you got them all crummy and falling apart.
You know, I hate that. I hate when you make a brownie and it's just all disgusting. It's not quite cooked right.
Yeah.
The most important thing to remember on cooking show, for example, they say, put toothpick in, it comes out clean. Like, that is not even worth it. You guys got to put it in there and bake for about however long it takes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that. I'm about to buy the cheapest, right, folks, get the cheapest knife you can find anywhere. McDonald's, Burger King, anywhere you go, get a good knife, a cheap one,
Yeah.
for like $1. Even go to the dollar store.
I do a lot of baking in other people's kitchens with doing the shows and things. And what I have learned very quickly after making mistakes is that everybody's ovens run maybe a little bit different, and some are way out of whack. People maybe don't even know because they're so used to their oven running 10 degrees hotter or cooler that they don't even tell me. And then I've had accidents where something's burnt to a char or I got raw meat coming out, you know? So I think it's very important to always put your anything you're baking, bake it on like less time than what it calls for. So you can be on top of things, check it, because you can always cook longer, but you can never uncook. There's my big
You can never uncook.
Never uncook.
Words to live by.
I'll do that. Remember that.
True.
Remember, mother, never uncook something.
I like that whole saying.
Aaron, question?
I mean, unless you have a time machine where you could turn back time.
Yeah, then you
Yeah.
could uncook.
We all wish we had that.
Oh, good. Let's say you
I'd get rid of these wrinkles and then I'd worry about uncooking.
Oh, back to the cooking future.
Any other questions, please, ladies?
Sure. Okay, hold on. Okay, I got it now. Please tell us how to be safe in the kitchen.
Safety is important.
Stay far away from the person with the sharp knife.
That's important.
Good idea.
You know, because you know what's important?
You two
I
are
was in cooking
hilarious.
school once. My teacher, Mrs. Green, told me, she said, the most important thing about safety is, and you hear this, Aaron, Dave, listen to this. The important thing about safety is you need to be careful and always watch what you're doing.
Hey,
Because
Ryan,
inevitably you can learn something.
last time I had a drill, I was the better one. You know why?
Why?
Because my roommate stayed in his apartment and failed the test.
I know.
To me, he was faking his death. A fake death, actually.
Oh, David?
You say that.
Oh.
Cooking. I'm not cooking. Aaron, continue.
Okay, anything else you might want to add?
Anything else?
About safety in the kitchen, other than
Yeah.
the knife.
I've had a couple small fires, but live to tell about them. I
please
learned not to
do.
throw. I've got an electric stove, so I'm afraid of gas stoves. And
I've
you know what?
never
I
cooked on
think
one
a
either.
lot more. Probably more people cook with gas stoves. Well, I think whenever you see cooking shows, if I'm not mistaken, I think they all use gas stoves on the cooking shows. But when I go and I'll do a show and I see gas, I'm like, woo, you know. And I'm just very
It gets
careful.
hotter. It gets
Yeah.
hotter quicker.
So yeah, you gotta really use caution, and I cannot ever tell my kids enough. Turn the burners off when you're done.
Yeah.
My
Don't
son,
set a towel on them.
Yeah, my son was making scrambled eggs the other day, and he didn't want them to overcook, so he moved the pan off the burner. Didn't turn the burner off. And I'm like, you know, you're worried about your eggs. What about the house?
My husband does that.
Well, it reminds me, my brother actually had a little experience in the kitchen. The stove was on and he burned himself.
Ooh.
Lucky for him, he's healed.
Good thing.
That hurts
he was.
too. The
was
tiniest
just
little
young.
burn really hurts.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of that, I had a question for you about that. Please list the basic kitchen items that should be in a kitchen, such as mixing bowls, measuring tools, and special electric machines.
Well, I think the first most important thing is a whisk.
And then you need two sisters.
That's funny.
And now that's hilarious. I like that. It's funny.
Downright tooting hilarious.
The most common used,
Yeah.
I have to have
Yeah.
a chopper, because I use that for everything to chop up vegetables or anything. Onions and things like that. That's probably one of the tools I use the most. You know, I don't use that many electric
I don't either.
things.
I don't
a
either.
blender once in a while. But you need to have good utensils.
Sharp knives. I mean, seriously, you do need sharp knives. If you want to get through some, there's nothing worse than a really dull knife when you need to be cutting something
No.
that's crispy or hard, and
You
that's
need a
very
good
important.
set of spoons, spatulas. It's important to have spatulas that you can use in cookware. A lot of people get this expensive cookware. They spend a lot of money on it, and then they'll go ahead and take a metal spatula and then they scratch it all up, and it ruins the coating. So you have to, if you're going to buy some quality stuff, then you want to make sure you use the right utensils with it and don't ruin it. Good cookware should last you a lifetime and maybe your kid's lifetime.
Yeah,
That'd be
because
a nice thing to
Irish
hand out.
way.
It takes you that long to pay it off.
Well, kids, I have nothing
ladies.
left in the 401k, and there's no stock left, but I've got great cookware I'm going to
Wow,
give you.
oh, they'll be thrilled.
Now, ladies, what are types of cleaning items needed to keep your cooking items clean? Because
Soap and water.
Soap and water?
Yeah, you know what, I pretty much throw everything in the dishwasher unless it absolutely says, don't throw in the dishwasher. And I hate those things, because
why
then
you
they
hate
sit on
them?
a
Why?
pile.
And I'm a good one. If I'm tired at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I soak it. You know, it needs to be soaked, and then
Deal
it
with it
soaks
tomorrow.
until the next day.
Yeah,
But yeah, I just let it soak like in soapy water.
yeah.
That's really all I use to clean anything. I think just soap
Yeah,
and water.
and a scraper. You gotta have a
Scraper.
good scraper, because good cookware, sometimes you may not want to put soap on it. You don't want the finish to get bad. So if you have a scraper, you can go in there and you can clean that pan brand new.
My mom uses a sponge.
Oh, okay.
Sponge. What are we probably doing? Splish splats?
Aaron, a question?
Huh? Oh,
Aaron,
yeah.
a question here?
Yeah. How long should leftover foods be kept?
That's it.
Till you eat them.
Until you eat them?
I was gonna say make sure you eat them before they grow fur, but I think the rule of thumb I have heard is like 48 hours. And if
Are you
don't-
serious?
I have heard that you know by that point, don't take any chances.
See now, what is today? Today's
The 14th.
Oh no,
today's Tuesday. See
today's
now,
Tuesday.
a week
it's
ago,
April of 2009.
a week ago last Saturday, we had some meatballs, and
Yeah.
they're sitting in the refrigerator. Right before I left to come to this interview, I said to my husband, "Oh, hon, you might want to make sure those meatballs are good before you eat them." But at
Does
least
anyone have a bucket?
I wasn't going to eat the meatballs, but you know, I should have probably thrown them out because he won't look for fur. You know what? You're probably right. 48 hours, though, that seems pretty.
Well, I guess it depends on what it is. Meat, I'm always really careful because
Okay.
you don't want to take chances.
Yeah. But desserts, they can stay. Good. Don't want to throw a dessert out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Usually those aren't left over anyway.
Actually, they're eating too fast, especially in our house. Some, like about 3 days tops.
I would
3 or
I would
4.
say be careful, you know, just be
careful?
careful. Yeah, if it's longer than 2 days, be careful about what you're eating.
You know, if you have something like potato salad sitting out on the counter, you
Yeah.
have family over and it's been out there for a while, then you go ahead and put it in the refrigerator. Now that would be okay. After a day or two, you might want to, because it was sitting out. But if it's something that you made and you put it in there, it should, you know.
And I will tell you
3 or
one thing
4
that a lot
days.
of people don't know, and that is that when you cut up a cantaloupe, you have to eat that within 24 hours, or
Really?
you can get poisoning. And I had food poisoning from that once.
Oh, boy.
I was in the hospital. I was so sick.
you
And
How
so
did
when
you
you,
not know that 24
whenever
hours.
I go to a restaurant and they have cantaloupe, I don't take it because I don't know when they cut that up.
When do you
If I'm
know?
at someone's house and I know they cut it that morning for the party or whatever, I'll eat it. But within 24 hours,
From
you should
24 hours?
eat
Hear that,
that.
folks? Hear that, folks? Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, with the minutes left on our show, gentlemen, continue. Let's continue our questions.
And
David?
fast.
David?
Let's just go
You
slow.
know,
Being kind of easy.
What you advise cooking to keep a first aid kit in the kitchen?
I think you need to repeat it again.
Would you advise cooks to keep a first aid kit in the kitchen?
You know, it's probably not a bad idea. I keep one in my powder room, which is just outside my kitchen.
Oh.
But if ever I burn myself, I just run it under the cold water, which is right there. That's what
Grab
I
an
guess.
ice
I
cube.
recommend
Yeah, or an ice cube will
I
work.
recommend you bring the egg in the kitchen instead of waiting to the powder room.
Yeah.
You got powder room for people powder themselves.
and maybe keep like Neosporin or something for burns.
You
or
know, that is a
cuts.
smart idea, to keep something close at hand in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because if I was seriously bleeding, I'd bleed to death before I got to my first aid kit, because it's way up on the
Yeah.
shelf, hidden behind everything else.
Okay, I never thought about that before.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Miss Erin.
I mean,
Orion.
Thank you, David. Good to
Stop
see-
doing it that
see
way.
Ryan. Thank you, Aaron. David, please share your ideas about coupon shopping, and where can you get your coupons?
You can get coupons anywhere. They're always sending out weekly advertiser newspapers. But I have to confess, I'm lazy. I
Lazy?
really do not coupon clip, and I should,
What? Why don't you?
because I just have not made the time to sit down. You know what coupons I use is when I go through the checkout,
Yeah.
and they'll give you a coupon with your receipt, and I say, oh, that's something I use, and I throw it right in my wallet. Then it's there, then I use it. But I'll tell you what, to go and clip them out and get them into my wallet, check the dates, and make sure I have them with me. I've taken coupons and gone through the whole checkout and forgot to use them. And all the way
I
home, I'm
know.
kicking myself. I just
I've
spent
done that too.
$1.49. I didn't have to.
Well, then we have one left on our show, so we should ask you guys one more question. How's that?
Okay, deal.
Is it my turn?
I got a good one.
It's David's.
Please tell us what to do if there was a fire on the stove.
It's a big important question, because you don't want somebody burning themselves on the stove.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I have to say, I have never had a fire in my kitchen, and now that I said that, I'm probably going to have one.
Well, they happen very fast. I lost an
No,
eyebrow and
No 30-second warning, huh?
a little bit of a twitch still. But I had my husband, he happened to be right there, so
okay.
I did what anybody would do when a fire started. I went, ah!
Ladies, we're going to have to wrap up our program, but I will mention right now.
I mean, you didn't give the wrap-up cue yet.
He actually did.
You did?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, it sure seems everyone loves food, and we have enjoyed sharing food information with you both today. Thank you. You show a great love of people of cooking and sharing that information with everyone. I wish you great success in your future. My name is DeWitt Taylor, and I thank you for joining us today to Sisters and Whisk. Ryan?
Thank you, David. And Ms. Ryan Nicholas Ray, thank you for joining us today in Community Corner. Aaron, and I'd also like to mention, right now before we do this, you can see these ladies in action. You can watch Two Sisters and Whisk. It airs on CMN, which is this channel, channel 52, on Thursdays at 12:30, and Saturdays at 5. These ladies are hilarious, and they're really funny, so watch their show.
And also remember to do the funny song.
Aaron, you want to say goodbye?
Sure. Thank you for being our guest today. My name is Aaron County Castle.
Now let's do our theme song. Ready?
Theme song.
Those ladies.
Do, do,
Dow,
Down, 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 down,
And remember, watch ladies. Two Sisters and
Goodbye,
Whisk.
folks.
Bye,
See ya.
folks.